On the nod! 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 On the nod!
Hey, what's up? I'm Brackett, and you're watching On the Nod. Today we have Deggy from Saints and Sinners. And what's up? How are you?
I just came back from work, opened my beer, and can't wait to chat with you now.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to talk about a lot of things tonight, but I guess the first question would be, how did Saints and Sinners get together? I know you've been together since 2011, right?
Yeah,
Um,
2010 technically, but then we started
2010.
doing the things like 11. It was about 10 or 11. It was just not like straight line start, but yeah,
Right,
yeah, but that's correct. But 2011 was when we actually really came out with that thing. So but we
right.
started practicing earlier for sure. So
Yeah, cool. And I know some of you
yeah,
guys. Oh, go
how
ahead.
it came together. I mean, that was kind of funny story because I've been playing in some like Czech punk rock bands that time. It's like a
Uh-huh.
little bit I heard of them, but we played a lot of gigs, like 50 gigs per year, mostly in Czech or in Slovakia at that
Oh,
time. And yeah, and I broke my leg someday out in the summer, like some fight in tram that was pretty
oh
dumb, but
shit.
yeah, so I wasn't able to play many gigs, so I was just like being at home, and like one of my friends, he was like, there was our former bass player. He gave me the idea. I was like, hey, you got nothing to do, so let's do this like oi project. And that was never meant to be actually a real band. It was just because I was at home,
Right.
and was like just because I told him it's like, okay, so once I will get my leg fixed, I won't have time for that anyway, because we were really playing like 50 gigs per year that time, and maybe
Yeah.
some more even. So we just meant to make it like a studio project. So we record that 3 songs, that we released on YouTube just for free, because that was just studio project for fun that time.
Yeah.
But uh, as soon as we release it, like 1 month later, we really get really good feedback about them records, and also some offers like to release them in some like serious labels. So
That's
we did
awesome.
that, and that was the moment when we actually started thinking about like putting it really all together, like
Yeah.
make it a real band, and then in 2011 we really came up with the first gig of the Improv in January. I think it was in Booze and Glory that time. That was
Uh-huh.
like our first record release, because those 3 songs that we recorded and we just like released them on YouTube, we recorded them again in the studio and put them on 7 inch. And then our
Nice.
first gig was actually like release party for this record, and that's how we started. But still, it was like, okay, let's make just a few gigs, per year, just like keep it kind of low,
Very
but
nonchalant, sounds like.
yeah, but so I still stayed in that Czech band, that time, another almost a year. But we were getting really like, offers for really good gigs. That was really hard to say I don't want to play that, because
Yeah.
I told you that band that I was in, we were playing mostly in Czech, and these offers they came from all around the Europe, So for me, it
Yeah.
was like, hey, that's opportunity, like to get somewhere else, to play the gigs around Europe that time, because
Yeah.
so it came to that I just had a chat with like my old bandmates in that Czech band, when I was like, yo, you will have to find another guitar player, because I'm not making it, and it's hard for me, to be like refusing playing these gigs, and so yeah,
Yeah.
that they understood that, they understood that, and we actually found another friend who was able to join that band. So there was like 2 months that we played together, when just like to make it right, and then
Uh-huh.
I just stopped playing with them, and only him stayed with them, and it was smooth. It never affected that band. So they were in the end satisfied, and then we were able like to make like full start of Saints and Sinners, and start playing actually all around Europe that time. That's
That's
how it started.
awesome. Now, how did you have some members in Nashville, right? And then some members in Czech? How did that
That's
happen?
me. That's me. I'm living in Nashville right now.
Oh,
The
you're in
rest of the
Nashville.
band,
Okay.
yeah, and the rest of the
Oh,
band is living still in Prague. That's why it's pretty difficult now to play any gigs for us, because you can imagine it's
oh,
like well, we played a couple of gigs last year, and I was already living over here. I live over here like about 3 years, and we were able to do some gigs last summer. Probably not this summer because like our schedules like didn't get together.
right.
So
Yeah.
we at this moment we play occasionally, the European gigs with this lineup. That's the original one. Actually, I can say it. I'm actually working on the local Nashville lineup probably for near future to make some like local gigs, because that would be expensive to bring the original members to US if we just want to have a party like over here, with some other band in
Right.
Nashville. I was like, nobody gonna pay for the flight tickets. It's expensive. It's not how does it work over here. On the other hand,
Yeah.
them members from Prague, they don't have like time to 2 or 3 weeks to US to pay it, because that will be probably needed
Yeah.
at least 2 weeks over here to be able to pay them flight tickets for them. So I'm really thinking I'm already working on that. So build like local lineup over here and maybe do a couple of local shows over here around.
Oh, that's cool. That'd be awesome if you could play some shows in the States
Yeah,
and
but a
we
lot of
could
people
all
over
come
here is like
together.
asking me about that. Like, hey, when we're gonna play over here? I was like, well, it's nobody gonna pay that, then I don't want to pay the flight tickets, and I don't want them
Yeah.
to ask to, hey, can you just pay your own flight ticket, and just like and play gig in Nashville. So I just came to this idea. It's gonna be probably easier to make it like that.
Right. Well, that makes sense. I mean, that sounds really difficult, like you
I mean,
said.
I know some bands who already did that, that they had like two lineups, like American and European. I've been like my friends from Hard Cell, they were doing it for some time. They had some Dutch lineup and then lineup in Texas. So we're probably gonna do something similar to that.
Something similar. That's cool. I haven't heard of anything like that before, but it makes total sense because I know there
Yeah.
are some bands that have members all over the world. And what are you going to do? You want to still keep playing.
It will be easier if that's like bigger bands, but then when their fees that they're taking actually make some sense. It's like I know,
Yeah.
like for example, Booze and Glory, they got like members living all around Europe actually, but they
Yeah.
can afford it. They can afford it because it's like they will always get enough money to put it together. But I don't think so that we are on that level to ask for that much. I don't even want to do that. I just because I can see how it's hard for them promoters, especially over here in the US. It's like you know that the crowds over here is not that big, the audience. So I
Right.
just not want to be the asshole like asking them, hey, I just need $800 guaranteed to be able to play on the gig, and they'll be like, oh. Maybe some would agree, and then in the end, people will not come, and I'll be like, well, so what we can do? I will have to accept that
Yeah.
you're not giving me that, and then we'll have to pay that. It's that will be pain in the ass. I don't even want to ask that kind of money over here. So
That makes sense. That makes sense. Definitely. I was going to say, now, what are the differences between the scene over here versus the scene in Czech in Europe? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of differences. Is it bigger over
it
there?
is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like you can say that generally it's actually easier to make gigs in Czech or in Europe in
Oh,
general. And
really? Yeah.
yeah, we're playing mostly in Germany, and it is definitely easier because it's kind of cheaper because them clubs they are not charging them bands as much as over here. It's very often that even them clubs they got their own production that you can just talk to them and they don't charge you even much. Maybe you have to pay sometimes. The sound engineer. But mostly they're gonna call you.
Yeah.
You can play, so they're gonna give you like their conditions. And they provide, I would say, like better service than over in US. It's like
Oh,
that's why
really?
American bands they love to play in Europe, because like the service
Yeah.
that they get over there, you're not getting it over here in US. And over here in US, if you got like 5 beers, in the venue during your gig, you're actually happy, you're actually okay. That's cool.
That's
That's
good.
like in Europe,
Yeah.
well, in Europe, they're gonna give you like that fridge full of beers, and unlimited,
Oh, nice.
power. And that's not happening in the US. And I think it's because of like, of course, that the audience is bigger. It's like, it's not rare when you play in Germany. I don't know, in Spain, Italy, that you got 200 plus people. That's like standard, I would say. Well, over
Nice.
here in the US, if you got 50 people, you're pretty good, though. You know what I mean?
Hey, yeah, that makes
Especially over
sense.
here in South, especially over here. It's sometimes you can be lucky that the audience, even over here in the US, can be good. We had a gig that a friend of mine, made like last month. Well, there was a Templars and a couple of another dance, playing. He just
Nice.
tried to like put that lineup together. There was about 400 people, which was really great. But that's the most people I've seen over here in Nashville. Most of them are not even from Nashville. It's like they just came like from Kentucky or Chicago. It's like
All over, I bet.
all around the
Yeah.
US. So, but that's my point. Like to make gig like this, you will really need the people from other states to come, to your city. If you make a gig like that in
Yeah.
Europe, they are probably like from surrounding. They'd be like from radius about, let's say, 40 miles from the town, and just they get together, and you got a crowd like this. It's
Oh,
definitely
wow.
like bigger. That's why it's easier over there, and that's why all them US bands they love touring in Europe for sure.
That makes sense, definitely. Oh, that's cool though. I figured that there were some huge differences between Europe and here.
Yeah.
Now to switch it up a little bit, what are some of your influences that got you like into street punk and the
Yeah, I
whole
mean,
genre?
yeah, I've been listening like Czech punk rock. Like I feel like I started like in high school, and I was like 16 or 17. I started with punk rock, so I was a punk. But then
Yeah.
part of the punk rock, I don't know, when I was like 21, 22, I just heard like Cocksparrow, because I was started like with the local punk rock bands and shit. So it took me several years. Then I get like when I just like met like Cocksparrow or Cockney Reject, and I was like, whoa, wow, because I always liked like the melodic kind of punk rock. And that
Right.
was it. I was like, oh shit, this is really good. So and then I just like
Yeah.
started like following the other bands. I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then it just like came by itself. It's like, oh, then it stay with me till now. So I would say
Yeah.
like, definitely like them biggest influences will be like them legendary bands like Cockspur, Cockney Rejects, the Business and bands like that. That's like that old school classics. That's how it
Yeah. How
started.
can you not love them?
Yeah, and them actually like opened the door, for me
Yeah.
to like find out all about the other bands, even younger bands, and then even like start the oil band. So
Right.
that's
Very
I would say that these are the biggest influences to me.
Very cool. Now, do you guys split up and take turns doing writing for the lyrics and everything, or is it just one person that primarily does it? Or
Uh, for the first 4 years before we split the way with our former bass player, I was just doing it mostly with him. We were like, I would say like half of the lyrics and half of the music, we were like doing that together, like 50-50. Since he left, it's mostly me doing that, like music, and then just
oh,
like,
okay.
just come in with some ideas to the practice room, and then we just rehearse out, tell you, okay, so try this. So basically, it's me like coming with ideas, and then the other members of the bands are like adding their, something, just like building it up.
Right. The group
And
together.
yeah, since he left, all the lyrics are mine actually. So.
Oh, wow. That's very cool. Have you been writing lyrics and stuff for a long time? I mean, you said you were in earlier bands in
Yeah,
Czech.
that was my very first band when I was actually doing them lyrics too. But in the band that I was telling you about, there was actually Nashville, actually the Czech punk rock band. We had a really good singer who was writing really great lyrics, so there was no need for me to even trying to do it.
Oh,
I think I wrote like 3 songs or something, that he used the lyrics. He just changed them a little bit. It's like, because he's really good. He's like poet. He's better than me,
right.
but he's only writing lyrics in Czech. He doesn't do that in English. And then the other two members of Saints and Sinners, I mean Pete and Ribbies, the drummer and bass player, they are not that good in English to be able to write English lyrics though. So
Oh,
that's I had to do that, because like the
right.
fourth player he was able to write the lyrics in English, but the other two they are not able. I was like, I have to do that. It's like there was nobody else, or
You had to
they would
step up.
probably write something in Czech, but I didn't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. Is there any bands that you're listening to right now that you're really into, whether it be in Europe or the States?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Mostly it's like melodic stuff, It's like mostly like melodic street band. I told you, okay, so that old school classic, that's all timers, So just like I
Yes.
do it all the time. But like if we talk about like the younger bands, I would actually name some of them. It was like Kareem from Spain. I actually listen like a lot of bands from Southern Europe, like from Spain and Italy. I just like that
Right.
because I like that energy and their melodies. So I like Kareem, Bull Brigade, La Inquisition are great. Non Servium, but they are a little bit less melodic. But I just like them because and all those bands, they are great people. When we became friends, we play with them. I cannot forget about Placaggio from Italy, but they call it black heavy metal oi, which is pretty interesting. But no,
Oh, that is
it's really good.
interesting.
It's really original. It's really good. And I was telling them one day, like, if I would be a really good guitar player, I would be playing that music too. But I just can't because like I'm not that good.
Oh.
But yeah, I like this kind, of bands. And then if they're not oi bands, I like bands like the Bones from Norway, which is like they call it like high speed rock and roll, whatever. But it's really good.
Nice rock and roll.
Or like
Cool.
like Wallbeat, that's band I can also listen. If we are talking about non-oi bands, or
Oh
non-punk.
yeah, any bands that you're
And I
into.
like yeah, also like Nordic bands like Backyard Babies. I really love that shit. So
Oh, cool.
they're
Cool.
all like pretty melodic bands still, even though they're not like they're not like super heavy or no, it's just like they got all in common that they sound melodic, that you can actually like really hear their choruses are really strong.
Sing
That's
along
what I
and
like. That's what I like. Yeah, yeah,
I like that too. It's really, special to be able to sing along with a band and,
yeah. It's a shame
know
that
the
there's
words.
not very much bands like that in the US. There's a few of them. There's like the Noise.
Yeah.
They are great. But there's
Yeah.
not much events. I like Straight Laces from where they're
Amazing.
from Kentucky. Right. Yeah, they're from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
really they're
wow.
yeah, that's like band that's not playing very much, because they are also like my age, a little bit older maybe. But
Oh.
I will definitely try to make them gig over here someday. Yeah, yeah, because they're from Louisville, so it's not so far from Nashville. So
Yeah, that's not too far
yeah,
at
I love the
all.
music. It's like we played over here with them in 2019. That's the first time I ever heard of them that time. So I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, who's that guy? It's just like, oh my god, that sounds so great, And like that. Unfortunately, there's not much bands like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're
It's,
right.
it's, it's a shame. So maybe I'm gonna try to make some new project to make it right a little bit. We'll see.
Well, there you go. There you
Well,
go.
we'll see. Okay, I cannot promise anything,
Yeah.
but if I will be doing any new band over here, it's gonna be probably like similar to Saints and Sinners because that's the shit I like. I'm just probably not gonna do
Yeah.
anything else. So cannot do
Cool.
different kind of music. I will probably never start doing hardcore or shit like that. Probably never.
Well, that's good. That's good. You're passionate about it. It's what you love. Gotta keep
Yep,
at
and I told you I'm not that great a guitar player, so I just play my
I
three
think you're
chords.
being modest.
So I just like that's all I can play actually. So but it's not that bad. Maybe
Very cool. Very cool.
the
So how do you
press,
end
the
up?
press are great,
Oh,
but they don't. Yeah,
oh, the
they.
press.
Oh, I love the press actually. Yeah. And one
Yes,
of the
they're good.
first bands, like from New York, they are great. I love them too.
Yeah, definitely. There are some good bands in New York for sure.
But yeah, but there's not so many of them as in Europe. It's like
Yeah.
you can name like 10 melodic European bands in 1 minute, I would say. But if you're talking about an American ones, it takes you a little bit longer to think like who's there, who's playing these guys there. You know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're more rare, I would say.
Yeah,
They're
no,
rare to
that's
get.
true.
And when they play, they're really good, if you find them, but they're rare to find them, I would say.
It's hard. It's a diamond in a rough sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, how did you end up in Nashville?
I got married with my wife. I met her over here in
Oh,
2019. It's like great love story, love for a side. So we had
Oh, I love
yeah,
that.
and then we just started like a long distance relationship, but then COVID hit the planet and it was kind of rough
Yeah,
because before COVID I was like able to travel to Prague and Nashville. It was possible like in 2 or 3 months, just to do that when I had time.
right.
But then when the COVID hit, we just realized, oh, we cannot be doing this, because like
Oh,
when
yeah.
nobody knew how long it's gonna take. So we had
Yeah,
to make the decision
exactly.
that we need to like start living together somewhere. And obviously, I do speak English, so for me, it was easier to move in the U.S. And my wife still doesn't speak Czech much. I'm trying to teach her.
Oh,
She wants to learn Czech, but that language is really not easy to learn. And so it was
yeah.
easier for me to move to Nashville. So we did that. That's how I ended up here, and now I'm over here for years, and that's it.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to go to Nashville. I haven't had a chance yet, but one of these days I'll make it
You're
there.
you're welcome. Just like, wait when some party will come up. My wife is a great DJ. She's DJing
Oh,
some DJ nights over here
cool.
when we doing stuff. So you're always welcome to come. You're gonna like
Oh,
it. The scene over here is not big, but there's mostly like nice people. They're like in my age, so that means like early 40s.
right. Well, that's
Not
cool.
much.
That
There's not much young people, and there's several old people. But I would say the core of it is like this like I would say like mid generation already, right? When I'm 41, I'm mid generation already.
well, I think that's still young in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so, but some people probably do not think about that like this. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I feel like
Yeah,
25. I'm still doing the same shit like I was doing in 25. I just feel
right.
like maybe the hangovers are sometimes a little bit worse than it can
That's true.
be, but yeah, but
They tend to
uh,
last longer now.
yeah, sometimes it's rough.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they're definitely getting a little harder, but that's probably the only difference I can see actually.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Now, do you have like a favorite venue that you've played in either the States or Europe?
You mean like favorite venue in Europe or favorite venue in Nashville?
Oh, either or. If you
I
have like
mean,
one that comes to
we
mind.
were lucky enough to play really great venues. There were some venues that we played multiple times that they were like keeping inviting us. But
Mhm.
I would not say I was like favorite one because most of them are really great. Of course, like several ones were like a little bit worse. But if I would name,
Right.
I've just I don't know. Like great one is like music board in Switzerland in Arbor. We played like 5 times. The owner is crazy. I like him. We always
I
like
love Switzerland.
yeah, we always drink like crazy. It will make us drunk. We always drink till the morning. He's like, oh my god, that's that's one of the dangerous one for us because we always love coming back over there, and that's always hard party. But with us, it's almost always hard party. But this one is it's like special. It's like because he's like crazy. He's just like gotta be bringing them shots. Still over. And then he gonna like close the venue, and close the door, and then he gonna get even more wild, and we get even more shots. So.
Wow,
And then
they
of
take
course,
care of you
yeah,
there.
and then of course, like a lot of clubs in Prague. Some of the venues are already gone. Like Buben Prague, we made over there one of our videos. That club, probably that he died like 6 years, 7 years ago. That was
Oh,
pretty sad. We will miss that
yeah.
club. That would be, that was my favorite venue probably in Prague that time because I was actually over there almost every weekend. When I didn't play, I was just there, just having a beer. That was one of them.
Yeah.
But like in Prague, we still have like 007 Club. This is like legendary one. But it's kind of small venue. It's for like 150 people or something like that. But it's legendary one. Everybody knows where it is. Almost every band who want to be like part of Subcontra have to play over there. It's like they still do
Yeah.
it. I'll be there because we probably go to Europe in 3 weeks from now.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. Oh, I will not play this time because we will go just for a week, and to make a gig, I would need like more time to make like 2, 3 rehearsals with the band. And this time we will not have time for it. But well, my
Right.
wife's gonna be actually DJing over there this time because, like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah, a
awesome.
friend of mine, he got like promotion, like company called like Knockout Promotions, like what was like promote Knockout Booking, yeah, Knockout Booking,
Oh,
and
okay.
he's actually that's like coincidence because we planned to go over there, to see my family just like for the weekend or something, and then I just noticed, hey, oh, he's doing over there like a festival called Sharp Fest. He got really good bands, the boys, from Asia. He
Oh,
got like
yeah. Boys, I
yeah,
love the
he got
boys.
Fatal Blow from
Oh, Feel is
Wales.
so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he got Spartanics from Germany. And then we were like, oh, it's the weekend that we'll be over there. So I just was talking to him. I was like, yeah, yeah. I was like, so my wife actually can take some miles with her. And like, yeah, let's make her make a set. So okay, so
Yeah.
I'm the companion of the artist. So we gotta smoke a little bit at times. So, but that's gonna be the good one, because that will be like Friday and Saturday, so it's like 2 days, and there's like anti-racist football, I mean soccer for Americans
Oh, sorry.
tournament over there, in a Saturday this morning. So it was like Friday and Saturday night, like these all punk rock bands, and then DJ sets after 10 p.m. And party till the morning. Sharpfest in Prague 007 Club. Whoever's watching that and want to go, just be there. It's gonna be cool.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, believe me. I was like party in Prague are always awesome, and this one will be special.
Oh, I bet you must miss it, huh? Being so far away.
Um, you know, it's true that there's like more gigs, like more often, and I would say like more
Yeah.
party. That the scene is definitely more alive. But in the other hand, oh, maybe I'm getting older because like if I was over there like in every weekend and the parties, I don't know if I will be able to do it again like that. Just like
That's
being
true.
Friday and Saturday, till 5 a.m. in the bar. That's what we were basically doing all the time over there. Uh,
Yeah.
Sometimes I miss that I cannot go to the party whenever I want, because that was like in Prague was like almost every day some punk gig or something like that, which is not happening over
Really?
here. Over here, if we got some gig, is probably like once per month, maybe twice, and
Yeah,
the
that's
parties
true.
are not so, I would say, wild
Oh, I
over here.
bet. I bet.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
over here, when you got a gig over here, that's fine. Like usually, like after gig is about a few drinks, and then you go home. Well, if you're in the Prague, you actually start drinking before the gig, then you're drinking all the gig, and then you stay in after party till 4 or 5 a.m. and you go in a bar, that's more wild than over here.
Wow.
Well, over here, most of the bars will close at 3 a.m. anyway, which is not happening
Yeah,
in
and
Prague.
I know. They go close at like 2 or 3
That,
and it's
but I'm telling you, it's like dangerous. That lifestyle is is making you kind of exhausted,
yeah, it's
But
pretty hardcore to keep up with
yes,
that.
well, I miss that option to go, But what I do
Right.
not miss is actually like them being like, oh, like the other morning he was like, I didn't have to go there. Actually, I didn't have to go to the other pub after we finished in this pub. You know what I mean? Like that's something that I do not miss because there were like definitely the mornings when I was like, oh, I should have leave like 3 a.m. I do not know why that's making mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yo,
But
I know.
it's hard in that moment, in that moment when you're just standing at the bar talking to your friends, it's hard to say like, oh, yeah, I should go. I just
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
it's so hard, and that you're gonna regret the next morning, but you're still gonna do that. But it's something that I do not miss actually, but
Well, I can't blame you. It sounds like a good time.
you just cannot help it, because like it's like once
Yeah, you're hanging
once you
out with your
start drinking in the pub,
friends.
it's hard to meet, like to really stop, just because when you're having fun, and I'm not even
Mhm,
talking about like hard drinking, I'm like usually drinking just beer. I can have like several shots, but not much, usually.
mhm.
But I can be like drinking just beer, like sipping beer all night long. So yeah, you get drink, but you don't get like fucked up, So
Yeah, Yeah, definitely.
That's something that Americans are also not very good at it, because like
I bet.
I just see it, and when they start drinking, they're gonna get drunk within like 1 or 2 hours, but really drunk, like really fucked up. And then I was like, that's probably they drink too fast,
I can see
And they're
that. I
kicking
can
them
see
shots, they're
that.
killing them shots, They were starting doing like the moonshine, and they're kicking them shots
It's like
one.
more of a rush to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
drunk
yeah.
and
They
to
rush
like
it, they
enjoy
rush
it.
it, and then I'll be like, well, I can actually drink over here 20 beers, and I'm not gonna get fucked up because I'm gonna drink them like within 6, 7 hours. I'm just sipping my beer. I was just like, well, my time could be like 20 minutes, one beer, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And then just
Yeah.
that's my speed, and then just like slowly building up. You get in the mood after like 1 or 2 hours, and then just like stay in that level of the mood. And you actually finish when you start feeling really tired. You're not even like that drunk, but you just start feeling tired, over time. So
Oh, I bet at like 5 o'clock in the morning. You're
yeah, and
probably
then
getting tired.
that's when you should go home, because you just don't want to sleep like that. All of my friends still, and I'm not saying that I've never done that. Of course I did, just like fall asleep on the table, this classic pose. But you
We've all
want to
been
avoid,
there.
yeah, yeah, you want to avoid this. Like,
It's funny. So are you guys, I know since we've been talking about, since you guys are so far away from each other, I bet that's kind of hard to do some new music. Or I was going to say if you had any new music in the works or any festivals
yeah,
you
I
play.
got some ideas. I've started working on something. Most time I just grab my guitar sometimes and I just record it into my phone. As a voice memos. So yeah, I got some ideas. But I don't know what I'm gonna do with them at this moment. I
Right,
do not know if I will just make them and sing a singer song, or if we're gonna start a new project over here. Still
right.
don't know. uh, I'll see. I'm not rushing it. It's like, okay, it's like,
Yeah, yeah, taking your
we'll see what
time.
the future will bring about this. Because on the other hand, it's pretty hard, like, to do anything with my original members back in Prague. You can imagine. So even
Yeah,
though we got some ideas, then I'll see what I will do with them. But yeah, definitely, I want to keep doing some new music in some near future. I'm not saying within weeks, maybe not even months. It may take 1 year. I don't know, but
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I'm like kind of ready now to start doing it, because, uh, you know, when I moved out of Prague, it was like taking some time to get settled over here, But now, because we were getting house with my wife, I was getting a new job, and it was like
yeah.
change. And now I'm finally like feeling that I'm settled, so it's gonna be like time to start doing something again.
Yeah, you're feeling antsy and ready to go.
For sure, yeah.
Well, that's cool. Now, do you have like a great memory of being on the road, like touring with everybody? I mean, I'm sure being
So
in
that's
Europe,
that's that's like 7 years of memories, though. that
7 years
was
of
that was
memory.
that was that was most of them weekends between 2012 and I would say 2019. Before the COVID hit. So it was like most of
Right.
them weekends. That's like one great memory. Most of that, of course, there were some like worst memories, but most of them, the ones that you remember, from the tour, are these good ones. So we are
Yeah.
actually like, we don't take it that much serious, that things about playing a gig. Of course we just want to play good. It's like we don't want people to say, hey, they just play really awful. No, that's
Yeah.
why we actually, like, we got some kind of rule that we should not drink more than 4 or 5 beers before the gig. Just like, keep in the mood, but just do not get fucked up, please. Because still,
Yeah.
you should show some performance. Those people are like paying some money to go to see their bands, and they don't want to see just like drunk bumps over there, from another stage. So
They
yeah,
don't
there
want to
should
see Sid Vicious.
there should be some standard about that. But on the other hand, we were always that kind of band that going to play a gig for us was primarily a party. Primarily a party somewhere. Opportunity to get out of the city and have a party in some venue that we've never been, with some new people, to meet them, to drink with them. That's with me always doing that. We were never like the bands like sitting in the backstage and never meeting them. We were just like always partying hard, and usually the last band leaving the venue, and usually with the last people leaving that venue, and usually to go into some after party with them, so we're always that
Right.
say so.
Cool.
That would be a lot of memories, but most of that was like never ending party though.
Never, yeah. I mean, like you said, before COVID, it was a different world, and then
Yeah,
COVID
for
hit
sure.
and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that COVID thing that kind of like stopped us from doing that, and just like derailed everything in the moment. So, well, it's how it is.
right. Yeah, well, it makes sense. I've had a question about who I love duets. I'm a sucker for a good duet. Now, who did the duet on the song? What was it? Last of the Gang. Who sang that with you guys?
That's Jenny Wu.
Huh?
That's Jenny Wu.
Oh, Jenny Wu? Jenny Wu?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Most of the gig
cool. I wasn't
is
sure.
Jenny.
I wasn't sure who was. I couldn't tell.
That,
So
that's
I was
that's
like, I
Jenny.
gotta
Yeah,
ask him.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That was one of our first songs in 2012, and yeah, that was with Jenny. I've been like our former bass player at that time. He was like in contact with her, and that was actually his idea to make this song with her. And I was like, yeah, cool. I came up really good. I like that song.
I like it a
And
lot too.
ever since then, we were like playing some gigs with Jenny. She was like actually always singing that with us. And
Yeah.
moreover, I remember that when we had, I don't say like not enough songs, but when we were like, in the phase of starting that band, like where like few first gigs, I think she was playing on the same like venues and gigs with us. So we were actually also playing like two or three another songs that she recorded, earlier, and she was like singing. So we were like, yeah, we were like friends back then. We're still friends, but we were
Mhm.
meeting her like more often about them 2012 or 13. That was pretty often that we were playing the same places though. So that was cool.
Oh, that is cool. I had no idea that was her. I'm familiar with her, but I don't know her enough to notice her voice. That
Well,
was, that
she's
was her.
Canadian, but like she's been living all around the world. I think that
Right.
now she's back in Canada, but I think that she's been living in Italy, she's been living in France. She was like living like every year somewhere else, I think. She was kind of traveler. But I think that now she's back in back home in Canada. So
Oh, okay. Cool. That's really cool. Now you guys have the two albums out, right? And I talked to you about it, whether or not you guys are going to make any new music. The last one was in 2016, correct?
that's yeah. Yeah. We got this two full length albums. In the meantime, we did like three seven
Yeah,
inches,
they're
I think.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
both of them.
And yeah, and then we just did like that trick that we actually add that 7 inches as a bonus track to the CD versions of them albums, for people to know.
Oh,
You know. Yeah, the last one was 2016, and we had the plan that time to do another album like with Horizon like 3-4 years from 2016,
mhm.
but then COVID came, so that
Yeah,
just broke the
COVID.
plans. So yeah, the plan was to make another album after another 4 years. I was like, okay, so we had album 2012, another one 2016. So I was like, if we were making
Makes
another album
sense.
like about 2020, that would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen because like when the COVID hit, like we had like break, because like we didn't know what's going on.
What can you do? Yeah.
Yeah, and then when they lifted all the restrictions, we started playing a little bit, but at the same time, I was already, thinking about moving to the US, and then it kind of broke that plans about like doing the games because I had like some other stuff, to be, I would say, worried about than the album that time. Was about worried
Right.
about move to US, how to do that. So it was like I would
Yeah.
blame COVID. I would blame COVID for 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 this that third album of Saints and Sinners didn't happen. Yeah, blame COVID and my laziness. Yeah, I can say I was a little bit lazy, but I would blame COVID mainly.
Yeah, well, that's a good excuse. I mean, that changed, the world.
I've been
So
I think it's 50-50. I think it's both. I was a little bit lazy, and then COVID came.
Well, you're being honest.
Fine.
Now, how do you guys deal? I know you're very anti-racist, very anti-fascist. Now, how do you deal with like confronting that in the scene sometimes? You come across those
You
people
just need to
and
be strict about that. If you see something that you think that's not okay, you need to just say it. At least say it.
something
At
about
least
it.
do something. Just do not ignore things. I would say this. Just like to be ignorant to them things is it's probably the worst. It's even because
Yeah,
then people was like fence walkers. You don't know what's their stance. They'll be say, "Oh, did you just like see that dude walking over here in like screwdriver t-shirt? Oh, wow, that's fine. I don't have a problem." It's like, but I do have a problem with that. At least say it.
yeah,
Just don't ignore it. Come on, you don't have to like beat his ass like straight over there. You don't need to be that rough. Not everybody's fighter or something. So I'm not saying that
right,
like everybody gonna have to punch anybody in some weird T-shirt, but you can be just like,
right.
hey dude, what does it mean? Why are you wearing this T-shirt? We can just like ask
Yeah,
him.
have a
You let him
conversation.
start some shit, comfy, but you can just tell him, hey, what's your point? Why are you doing this? And they'll be like, oh, I don't know. I was like, oh, I just don't like it. Just
Yeah,
tell that. Just don't be ignorant. I would say that this is the most important thing. And I'm saying you don't have to be fighter. You don't have to fight. Not everybody is like built for that. Not everybody is like, but at least say it. Just
right.
don't
No,
do that.
I think that's important. And do you deal with that more in America or Europe, you think? Or
Uh, that's hard to say. That's hard to say. I would say, uh, definitely in Europe, there was a time when the racist scene was really strong. That they were in attacking even punk gigs, but that was like 2010s before. That there was
right,
kind of times, but that was pretty normal when like some group of Nazis were like attacking even punk gigs. So when you were going to the punk gig, you just knew that you're probably gonna get fucked up if you're gonna walk alone. So that
right.
was happening. Over here in US, it's probably a little bit different. I would say that people like try. Some of people, I got a feeling that they want to be like more. I would say like tolerant, or it's not tolerant, but ignorant actually. Because they will be like, "This is not a big deal." I didn't see it. I was like, yeah, I think that
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe some of them they don't have experience what like bringing these gray zone people or just racists into scene can cause, because that can actually cause like tension on the gigs. They can start fights, and you don't
yeah,
want it.
that's true.
And I
Yeah,
think in US, just like, I'm not saying everybody, but that's probably the biggest difference, that some of them people will tell you, "But I know him. He's not racist, but he just gonna, he's just gonna be listening to weird band at home, and he can wear this T-shirt. But I know him. He's not racist." I was like, I'm not saying he's racist, but just like I just don't like his T-shirt, for example. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
saying
I get it.
there's a problem, but like, yeah, there was a time that people were making fun about that. It's like, oh, you all you do is like sewing, like making a problem about somebody wearing some T-shirt. Is that a real problem? The T-shirt is not a problem. The problem is the person wearing the T-shirt, and what does it mean? Is if I'm
What it
gonna be wearing a
represents.
racist T-shirt, it's a stance. That's not a
Yeah,
T-shirt. It's not a piece of fashion. It's a fucking stance. And that's a problem. And I
that's
gotta
true.
feel that here in the US, that people sometimes forget about this. That they be
Yeah,
saying that's just his fashion. We're just wearing, but we know him, but he's not that person. I was like, I'm not saying, but why does he have this stance on him?
yeah, exactly. You're making a statement, whether you like it
You
or
want
not. You have to acknowledge
of course,
that.
of course, but that's what I'm saying. I was like, just don't think it's not a fashion.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree. Um, yeah, it's a shame that we even have to deal with that in the scene at all. But unfortunately, what can you do? There's always going to be people that are unfortunately
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
that.
it's happening everywhere, and that's not. I'm not saying it's not happening even in Europe, but I just saw that in Europe the people gonna deal with that, and there's some venues that they will even not let them people to enter the venue with that T-shirt. Okay, but then those like politics, or whatever they call themselves, they be making fun about that. Ho ho, you just care about some T-shirts, and there's a Nazi
Yeah,
in the club. but he's wearing blonde today. You don't know that he's Nazi, and you let him go in. I was like, okay, I don't know because I'm literally not like scanning everybody's tattoos. So if he's
Right.
dressed and
Yeah.
he's dressed normal, or he'd be like, oh, but then he took a picture with that Nazi. How was I supposed to know that he's Nazi if I never know the person? I never met him, So, but
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
and that's what I'm that's like that's my point. Like at least if you see somebody who was like wearing, I don't know, like screwdriver edition or any racist shit, then you start that's not okay, and that's a start. I'm not saying that you should like be questioning everybody. Hey, are you Nazi or not? Are you? No, but this is like there's a first red flag, I would say. If you see look somebody
Yeah,
wearing this, first red flag.
that's true. Because if they're saying that on their t-shirt, well, I wonder what they're thinking in their head. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Exactly. Well, to change it up now, what has there been a time that you were playing a show and the crowd just totally was energetic and just made you just feel alive? And I bet your favorite crowds are probably in Europe, I'm assuming, compared because
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
we're saying.
that's most of them gigs like in Italy or Spain because that's usually a very young crowd, and
All right.
they're starting drinking pretty early usually. So then then they really can enjoy them gigs, and yeah, these like Southern Europe, it's always good, or East Germany, especially East Germany, not the West one. They are
Oh,
always
really?
that's yeah. Them people they know how to party, and they drink a lot. That's funny thing. I don't know if somebody's familiar with the German scene, but there's like very different still between East and West Germany. That's very interesting.
Oh, really?
That's the difference. Yeah, it was like West Germany, this because like they been like having the punk gigs 50, 60 years, but East Germany it was like under a communist regime, so the punk music
Right.
and like, that was actually illegal. So, and you can still see the difference because if you go to the East Germany, a lot of them people, they'd be like really partying, they'd be drinking like crazy, the mosh pit will be fucking crazy, and then but they will party like animals. But in the end, they will probably not buy much of your merch. But then you play in West Germany, then people will be like watching the gig. There'll be a lot of them. They'll be watching the gig, like, in the back row, like, yeah, it's really good. So you're playing that gig and you think that, oh, they're bored. That you think that they're
Oh,
bored. Yeah. But in the end, you stop playing and they're gonna buy everything for your fucking merch and oh, that was great. And they're gonna buy everything, they're gonna buy like 5 CDs and 7 T-shirts. It's like your
well, you
merch is
never
gonna
know,
be
I
crazy.
guess.
Yeah, it's like that's a funny difference. But it's like that's like funny story about guys.
No, that's true. That's true. I figured your favorite crowds would be in Europe from everything that we've been talking about,
No,
larger.
I would say like this crowd, like if it's Germany, it's like kind of similar to the crowd in the US because like most of them people in the US will do the same thing. They'll be like listen from like behind, and then they're gonna buy
Yeah,
your merch. I
that's
think it's
true.
like I think the richer country is, then the people are less wild. I would say.
Really? I
Yeah,
can see that. That makes
that's what I
sense.
witnessed. That's like
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense if you think about it.
yeah.
Now, speaking of merch, where's the best place for people to find your merch and buy it besides
Uh,
shows?
well, we always prefer to sell the merch on the shows for sure because
Okay.
that's the way how you can like directly support just the band and that's. But yeah, we're not playing much now, so I think our label is like former label. Well, it's still our label, but our
Hmm.
contract is expired. So, but they're still selling that. I think it's like oideshop.com or something like that. It's a German label.
Or the shop? Oh,
I
okay.
think that they are still having a good amount of our merch,
Cool.
and then they can just like let us know, just like hit me out with a
Contact
message.
you directly and ask for
Uh,
merch.
yeah, and we can see what we still have because yeah, we still have some merch like on stock that's in Prague. Our bass players actually has it at home.
Hmm.
Probably it's not like everything. We don't have everything in every size anymore. But there's still
Right.
some. But I think the best choice probably like look up that or the shop website
Or
or
the shop.
hit us up with a message.
All right. Well, that's very cool. I want to make sure people know how to do that. And what would you say also is the best way to get in contact you, like via Instagram or Facebook, or
Well,
is that?
like any of them, Instagram, Facebook, or our mailbox. That's
Oh,
all of them. It's me who's like entering to the message and all these social networks or emails. So I would say it doesn't matter what of these platforms it is. It's anything same, So I will read them for sure. There's no manager or anybody else. I will read them all. Maybe
oh,
like 2 or 3 days later after it's gonna be done, but I will eventually get to them anyway within 1 week probably.
oh, good, good. I want to make
I'm,
sure
not, I'm,
people
I'm just
know.
like not checking them every day, just like on the mail,
Right.
the band, chat or mail. I'm just checking them like once, twice a week. So
Yeah.
if somebody will message me with anything, I'm gonna reply probably till we. I would say up to 1 week to give me the answer.
1 week. Well,
Yeah,
that's fine. I mean, you have a life. You can't be on
yeah,
there
for sure.
24/7. All righty. Well, listen, it's almost been an hour.
Oh damn.
And yeah, it went by fast. It's been such a pleasure talking with you. Definitely hang out for a minute once I stop recording.
Okay.
But yeah, this has been awesome. And it's been great getting to know you and hearing about the band. And I'm hoping that, we could hear some new music and see some shows soon with the new
No, I'm not
lineup.
promising that yet, but I'll try my best. I will try my best, and that's probably most of the people watching this will be American, so that's probably maybe good news. If your accent is
Yeah,
maybe there will be something coming up for American audience, mostly for American ones, because I'm not planning to move out of Nashville for now. So if I'll be doing
yeah.
music like in this area. So
That'd be awesome if you get a lineup out here and we could see some more shows, and that'd be
yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Let's
Very
let's help American scene a little bit now.
awesome. Well, this has been great. It's added Brackett, and this has been On the Nod. I've been talking with Deggy from Saints and Sinners, and thank you for watching.
And cheers.